Hey everyone, this is Kaisif and welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at a fully automatic concrete blaster. So this is the build. It's not very compact, but it's really simple. So yeah, this is a non-duping farm. Uses TNT from that dispenser. TNT drops down, blows up all the concrete here, which is collected in the hopper down below. In its current state, the farm has an efficiency of about 4.5 stacks of concrete for every piece of TNT, which is a shulker's worth of concrete for just 6 pieces of TNT. So let's look at the science behind this thing. Alright, concrete powder science time. So whenever you place a piece of concrete near water, it converts to concrete. So we've got this smart piston setup here, which, as you can see, every time you place a block, the redstone gets powered and pushes forward. Here we've got a waterlogged stair among 2 iron blocks to stop the water from flowing out. Concrete's converted and is pushed out, where you can do whatever you want with it, preferably blow it up, which is the next problem. So here we've got a 7x7x7 block of concrete and a piece of TNT bang in the middle. So we're going to place the TNT, ignite it, and explosion. Yeah. So look at the number we've got. We've only got about 1.5 stack. Actually, just 1 stack and a smidge. So we're definitely going to have to amp up the production because this is still pretty expensive. So TNT science time. So every time a TNT piece explodes, it's got a force field around it, which is higher the closer you are to it. So every time a TNT piece blows up, the closer you are to the TNT, the more likely it is to blow up compared to the current regions as we've got here. So the determinacy of a block blowing up is based on a property of it called as its hardness, which is different for different blocks. So concrete's more likely to blow up than, say, cobblestone. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but as an example. But another thing that happens is when you blow up a block, it actually reduces the force of the TNT behind it. So the blocks are less likely to blow up if they are behind another block. And in case you've got something with a very high blast resistance, such as ancient debris, nothing can be blown up behind it. So this is a real major problem here. So we've really got to figure out how we can use zero blast resistance for the concrete, and that is where the pistons come in. So pistons, when they are extending, actually have a blast resistance of 0. Not an extended piston, but a piston that is in the process of extending. So the reason for that is actually how piston extensions work. What happens is the block is deleted and then replaced, because Minecraft's above all just a piece of code. It doesn't actually move. It's just being replaced. So what we're trying to do is, once we push a block and it has been removed, we're going to try and blow up a piece of TNT in the same game tick. When the game thinks that there's an air block over there, so it deletes that block, but then realizes that there is actually a blowable block over there, so it drops it in its item form. So this is a bit weird. So how do we automate this? The answer is through something like this. So here we've got a dispenser on the top with some TNT and a repeater tower with 10 repeaters on 4 ticks delay and 1 repeater on 1 tick, which then powers all these pistons to push forward the wall of ancient debris. Now ancient debris under normal circumstances isn't blow-upable, but when you use this system with the TNT dispenser and the pushing, you can see that the blocks are all dropped down in their item form, which is really cool. So it's a few different things that we've all got to line up perfectly that makes the farm work. So here we are. Let's look at how these all come together. So first up here we've got the pushing mechanism, where we can just place our concrete powder. We're given a new piece of concrete powder after an 8 tick delay We've got some storage there. The 8-tick delay is important because of the fact that this is completely automated. All the blocks come here, torch past this redstone dust, which pushes all the pistons forward into the blast zone, except on the middle one because that's where the TNT comes from. The blocks then get pushed all the way across where they are observed by this observer. We've got a bit of circuitry to figure out how to push it down. Alright, so here is the bit of circuitry that we've got going. So we've got some pistons to mimic what's happening. So the observer basically pushes that observer top, which powers the redstone line. So if you push this, you can see stuff happening in the back. Basically, this is a T flip-flop to avoid a clock. Now, when you want the blocks to be pushed down for the TNT explosion, you do not want a gap over there. So for that, we've got a dropper counter here, which stops the pistons from expanding every 6 rows. So here, the dropper pushes across. Whenever the comparator unloads, we've got a pulse extender which unlocks the hopper, allowing it to reset. Next up, we've also got a small pulse, a 1-tick pulse, which activates these 2 pistons. Now what these 2 pistons do is a bit interesting. Basically, this iron block is moved out of the way so that the observer can't power the piston, and that one is pushed up. So this observer no more powers the pistons, so there is no extension, and that concrete powder activates this observer, which activates the rest of the lime circuit for the TNT dropping. So if we were to mimic this, you can see that nothing actually happens there. So just try and reset this. You can see that that's been reset, and yeah, this gets pushed down, gets pushed down again, gets pushed down again. You can see the pulse extender is starting to work. Stuff has been reset, and this time it doesn't get pushed down. So this is the basic system. If we try and power this, when the TNT explodes, everything is reset. Alright, so now that we've got everything locked up, ready to be exploded, this lime circuit gets activated, which powers the dispenser, which drops the TNT down. From the dispenser, we've got a line of 9 repeaters this time on 4 ticks of delay each, and finally a 3-tick delay, a 1-tick delay, and a redstone line which repurposes all of this. We've also got this piston here which powers the observer in its position, which allows all of this to extend. Alright, so here we are. I have loaded this thing up. You can see stuff has been reset now. And if we start placing the blocks, we should be able to see this thing in action. And alright, slow motion time now, just to see what's happening. You can see the TNT blowing up. You can see the redstone being activated and the pistons expanding at the second that the TNT blows up. You can really see the sheer amount of destruction, the comparative destruction, and yeah, here you can see there's about 4 stacks of concrete that has been produced. So this is really cool. So hope you enjoyed this and maybe learned a bit. But anyways guys, TTFN, Tata for now.